Hi, I'm Demanda Martini.
I'm Logan Stone.
I'm Felix.
And I'm Jessica Kraus. Welcome to Two Drag Queens, a Lesbian, and a Baby, our podcast where you get an inside look at our exceedingly, abundantly queer group chat as we do a watch through of Xena Warrior Princess. This week, we will be discussing episodes 9 through 12, where Death gets captured, Gabrielle becomes an Amazon princess, Salmonius touches some tomatoes, and there is a not very empty Trojan horse. But before we dive on in, let's update you on what's been going on since the last episode, which we recorded last month. Hey guys, we are actually re-recording this episode. We recorded this for you a whole month or more ago, and the whole episode got corrupted. Oopsie doopsie poopsie. So we're actually re-recording everything. So we're going to see how this goes and see if we all remember what we watched over a month ago.
Yes, so things were a little crazy. We had some updates for you again a month ago. Now those things are super past, and we're just going to move on with our lives. However, we did want to mention, because we were all there, and it's not only the reason that we not only is it the reason that we needed to record when we did record, and why we haven't been able to record afterwards, is we all went to AwesomeCon in 2026.
Woo!
Which was
Awesome time.
yes, which was great. We are very busy, and we have all kind of been super busy since. But AwesomeCon was awesome. Not to be
It was awesome.
it was awesome. Uh, Even though I had mentioned this year that I was like, oh, this year's going to be an easy year. We're going to do less. We're going to do less.
That's
I'm
not
not
what
gonna
happened.
I'm not gonna do as many panels. I'm not gonna like table with as many people.
Lies and fallacies and
I,
stories.
I know, because in previous years it was like every single day was like 4 to 5 things. Well, Friday and Saturday were still pretty busy for me. Sunday, not as much, but every day still felt extremely busy. Um,
Wow.
I will say our panels, I think, went super well and were well attended, and we got good feedback from
And
them.
what panels did we do, Demanda?
So I moderated 2 panels. The first one was about queer horror. We talked about the undertones or overtones of queerness and horror, which again was really well attended. The person who is like the room monitor or whatever, she came up to me afterwards and was like, "Yeah, there was like 50 plus people, which is again really good for a Friday at this time, because usually on Fridays, for those who may not attend conventions regularly, Fridays are usually less attended, and then the later that you get, people are arriving later, which means that they're gonna like go down to the floor to see what's like all at the con and not necessarily come to a bunch of panels. So that was really good that we had a good audience. Also, so that was with myself, Jessica, and Logan. Sort of we watch horror movies, but may not necessarily be
Like
horror fans.
we like horror.
Right.
Our
Still went well,
our
right?
ending panel was just like, we don't really like this that much, but we're here. Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, hello.
Yeah, we were at more the color commentary, but that is why I invited 3 actual very big horror fans. Num1 cosplay, Johnny Alucard, and Mr. Scott Free, who definitely brought like the horror sort of academia
The
to
expertise.
it.
Two of our very best friends of this podcast, just so
Yes.
we know.
Yeah. Scott especially kept bringing up like these horror films, and he was like, but don't look into those, don't and I'm like, Scott, what do you mean?
Don't watch these films.
We're like, what do you mean? And of course we always love seeing all 3 of them, so it was really great to have them with us. And then the other one that I moderated, which also not as well attended because it was at noon on Saturday, but the people who came brought like fucking notebooks and like legit took notes, and people had like
I saw them writing it down.
So it was a panel about producing drag shows. So again, it was me, Logan, Jessica, and our friends Cyrene Noir, Sadora Jackson, and Tiffany D. Carter. And again, it was an interesting. I think my favorite part of that panel, just thinking about it, was I kept trying to like lead you guys into a certain thing about all of the stuff that a producer does, like previous to actually like doing the show, like all the organization that happens before you even like start a show. And everyone kept talking about, well, I want to make sure that people are getting paid. I want to make sure that like the room is clean. And I'm like, I'm talking about like the emailing everyone, picking a cast, getting everybody's music together, listening to everybody's music, having to make sure that like who's the DJ and who's like, and like, you know, is there a sound system and like all of that stuff. And like
my favorite part about that was like like I have a lot to say as a producer who has been producing drag shows for like 10 plus years, and Mandy had to pause and like kind of let me know, hey, you are a producer and you do a good thing, and like we love you, so can you talk about it? I was like, oh yeah, I guess I could talk about it. But she was like, she literally had to prompt me to be like, stop not tooting your own horn.
Right. Well,
I'm a toot your own horn, toot bitch. Right. Now talk about the shit that you know.
Right. It was like with all three of you, it was like, hi, I'm trying to like get you guys to talk about like the actual stuff that no one talks about in producing drag shows, like all the stuff that needs to get done. And I also think having Jessica on that panel was really good to talk about how she's apparently never been paid for a drag show, which I'm like,
that is crazy.
Now,
I've brought this up multiple times to like people recently. I'm like, why are we not paying our drag kings?
But also, first of all, why are we not paying performers just in general? So like even with like tip spots, it's like no. Even if it's a tip spot, so I've never produced a show with a tip spot, but it's just like no. As a producer, I would be like, here's some of my money that I got to give to you because you came to perform pretty much for free. Again, that is wild to me. I know technically the one show that I've gotten Jessica to do is Farpoint, where we don't get paid. Instead, we get paid with being at Farpoint.
with being at Farpoint, yes.
Right. But yeah, like that is so crazy to me. But anyway, so those are the panels I moderated. Jessica?
Oop, I dropped my phone. That was apparently my contribution. And Jessica dropped my phone. Yeah, so I moderated presenting female in cosplay. It was me, Mandy, Logan, and then Natasha Stagmer, aka Cannon Doll X, her first ever panel with us. That was really cool.
Love her.
She's great. We will obviously be putting her on many, many more panels. Like we already knew her. We already knew she was great. There was no like, oh, is she going to be okay on the panel? No, we knew. Like there was no question about that. And she was of course fabulous and did a wonderful job. Brought new perspectives, new ideas to the panel, because we've done this particular panel multiple times at multiple conventions, and I feel like we change it up a little bit every time, but like we're starting to tell the same stories over and over again because even we have our limit of experiences.
Well, and again, her bringing in new perspective, new experiences, because for those people who don't know Cannon Doll X, she's been around the con scene for like over 26 years.
Long time.
She's like, I've kind of been around since like the early 2000s. I'm like, girl, that's crazy pants. My
favorite thing is like when you like we have all been around for a very long time, but like getting to actually know the other people who have been along with us on this journey, and you don't actually know them until you like get to hang out, and I don't know, it's just crazy.
Yes.
And one minor correction: I have been paid once or twice to be a drag $25, but I was paid once or twice $25.
That's still crazy.
Still wild to me.
I'm just glad that we got you paid at Farpoint.
Awesome.
No, I wasn't paid.
No, and then we also got you paid at Awesome Con.
I wasn't paid at Awesome Con either.
You were paid with my love and affection.
Yeah, I was, but we'll get to that in a minute because I do have comments about the show.
Other than that, again, another big thing was we did our second year in a row a group cosplay where we all did
Yes.
Xena cosplays for the convention. Obviously, Jessica was Xena. Logan brought her
Wait, Jessica was Xena?
her award-winning Callisto, and Felix and I brought our two new cosplays on.
Our side characters.
Aphrodite. Yeah, I was Aphrodite, which no one recognized for Karen. and Karen being Karen cosplays, who was Jessica's Gabrielle, and Felix. Who did you bring?
I was Autolycus, and no one recognized me either, and that's fine. That's okay. I had a great time, and we looked good together, and that's all that I cared about.
I'm glad that you called him Autolycus because you have at least 4
know.
times called him Autolycus, and I
Well,
want to shove
when you say Autolycus, yeah.
I want to shove your head
we
in another.
recorded before we got unrecorded, so I had a chance to correct myself for this episode.
I die inside.
This was one of my favorite group cosplays that we have done, and I put this into the group chat earlier, but yeah. Shh. Nobody needs to know that we only did 2 so far. But what was really nice is I was having a bad day the other day, and somebody in my office came up and was like, "I saw all of you at AwesomeCon, and like I saw your pictures." And they thought I was Xena. I was like, no, I'm Callisto. They're like, wait, you're not Xena? I'm like, no, I'm the other one.
No, you're Xena. I'm Autolycus.
I was Aphrodite. Felix was Xena.
Villager number 5.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But we had so many people come up to us, and but that particular story was so nice that like somebody just came up and was like, I love what you guys are doing. I listened to your podcast, and you guys are so funny, and you're so lovely, and it was just really nice.
I just had an idea. We can feel free to not listen to people because it's us. But should we let people vote on what our next group cosplay should be? I know we have ideas.
I think that's a good idea.
Funny you guys should say that, because in our outline I put I'm going to put a poll up for our next group cosplay. No, it's fine. I was just saying, funny story. We all had the same idea. I just had it first.
I closed the outline because the outline confuses me.
Bitch.
but no, so we've talked about it in the group chat, but I think after this episode goes up, we will post on our socials what people would like to see at AwesomeCon 2027. So the 4 ideas that we have sort of come up with are Disney villains, Alice in Wonderland, Lord of the Rings,
which is very different from Disney villains.
Yeah, exactly. Because Alice in Wonderland you can pull from the books or the other movies. Because obviously, I might want to be Carol Channing from.
Yes, Carol Channing.
Jam tomorrow, jam yesterday, but never, ever jam today.
I love y'all. Y'all so amazing.
And best movie ever.
And then what were our 2 other ideas?
So okay, Disney villains, Alice in Wonderland, Lord of the Rings, or X-Men. And if X-Men wins, I then want to do a sub poll of should we just like do X-Men, or should we do like a specific one where it's like we're a team or a certain era or whatever.
You also should know that if you pick Lord of the Rings, me and Mandy will be fighting over the same cosplay.
Well, okay, so when I mentioned Lord of the Rings, Logan immediately was like, I want to do this picture of Galadriel. And I was like, well, that was my number 1 choice. However, my second choice, which is 100% totally fine, is Eowyn. So that's totally fine. I just need to figure out how to make like realistic looking armor. So because I want to do like the I Am No Man like armor instead of like one of her.
Yes,
like,
I am no man.
Yeah, I am no man. Which also, side note, when I got my nails done the other day, I was wearing my I Am No Man t-shirt. For those people who I have I Am No Man written in sort of like an old font. And the lady who was getting her nails done next to me, she was, of course, like looking at my nails, and she saw the Aphrodite ones that I was getting taken off. And she was like, "Oh, those pink ones are so pretty." I was like, "Oh, thank you." I'm like, they went with one of the looks that I had. She's like, "Oh, whatever." And so when she was talking to her nail tech, she was like, "I want what he's got. So if you can you give me what he's got?" And I was like, it kind of like prickled a little, but I was like, whatever. So when I got up
Yeah.
and because again, before they paint your nails, you have to go wash them. So when I went up to the sink and when I came back, I saw her looking at me as I was walking back, and I think she read my shirt.
Oh.
Because then later, when she was talking to her nail tech again, she was like, "No, what she's got."
Oh,
She,
okay.
she was like what she had earlier, no, with whatever. So I pulled out my phone to show her a picture of like my nail picture, and she was like,
Yes.
"Oh, see, this is what she had, and this is what I." And I was like, yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
See, I think it would be really fun if like we both did AON, but I did the green version and you did like the elf, like high elf version.
You mean Galadriel?
Yeah, that's what I said.
1,000,000% not even close.
I am so sorry that you guys put AI into that. Like you were like, she's just changing my words.
I think that Felix and I should be Legolas and Gimli. That way we can, that way we can run around fighting, but also being in love.
And also counting.
Legolas and Gimli.
I will say, as somebody who has fought Jessica at a convention, it's very fun. You should totally do it.
We'll get to that.
I would be totally cool with being Gimli.
First of all, I love that. I love that whole thing wholeheartedly because Legolas and Gimli are amazing. Now, obviously, Felix gives way more like Merry and Pippin energy.
True.
like for real. But you guys so.
I'm only one of them though. I can't be both.
Yes, you can. But literally, Legolas and Gimli are so precious to me because like they hated each other at the beginning of that story. But if you like read like all of like the weird epilogues, Legolas brings Gimli to like the Elven lands afterwards, which is like against the law. Like he is not supposed to come, and Legolas brings him anyway because they're in love.
Yeah, I was going to say they are at least boyfriends, and you cannot convince me otherwise.
They are 100% boyfriends. I love them so much. So again, after this episode airs, I will be putting that poll into our onto our social media, so you guys can vote as to what we'll be wearing one of the days of AwesomeCon 2027. So Felix, what was your AwesomeCon like? Because you don't really get to like hang out with us.
That's unfortunate, but it's true. This is what I signed up for. Apparently, I had a great AwesomeCon though, and a special shout out to Austin and Patrick for helping me with my booth because I needed that help. It was busy all weekend, but we did great. And I at the end of the show, I booked next year's table already in advance.
Oh, awesome!
So
Wonderful.
I'm excited for that. We had a lot of fun sales, a lot of ideas for how we're gonna set up next year. The costume that I did with the alien, I gave that helmet away at the show because everyone's like, you can't bring that home with you. So I had to there was a group of people that were there, and I was like, any of you watch this anime, Dan? And this group was like, yeah, we love it. I'm like, you want this helmet? Fight over it. And they were really excited to take it off my hands. So
wait, is that creepy head that you were wearing?
Yeah, the creepy helmet that I was wearing. I gave it away because no one that I live with wants that around the house. So.
Fair.
But also coincidentally, your table is right across the aisle from.
No, that thing was so terrifying. You have no idea.
Yeah. Yes, we were across from Farpoint, which is awesome. Like we got there, I saw the sign, and it was we both saw them like individually. So I set up, they set up, and then like I saw the screenshot of the text that Amanda got that was like, "Look who's across from us." And I had just sent the message to this group chat. I'm like, "Hey, guess who I'm across from?" So
yeah, so that was awesome. It meant that we did get to hang out in that little section of.
And we love Auntie Sharon.
Yes, we love Auntie Sharon and Brian and Sarah. Shout out to them. Yes. I will be hanging out with them at Otakon again coming up later this year. Very excited. And in the same
When is Otakon?
Otakon is the first weekend in August.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I actually
Yes.
got to meet Maggie, refashioned hippie, because I didn't get to meet her at Farpoint. Like we were literally never in the same place at the same time. Like, and the convention is not that big. We should have ran into each other at some point, but we did not. So I find, I've seen her videos and stuff, and you all said she was lovely, so I just believed you. But it was very nice to finally get to like meet her in person and talk to her. And Maggie, if you're listening, I offered to let you try on my Xena costume. I was not kidding. Like you can. We just have
Yes.
to
Maggie
coordinate.
Maggie was really, really lovely. And I'm glad that you got to actually meet her.
Yeah, me too.
So I think if she comes back to 4 Point next year, which I believe she will, that will be something that we need to bring up because I am pretty sure that because of the situation of her friend needing to like drive her back and forth, I think she was just like, I got to like go do like, you know what I mean? She was only there for the day,
Yeah.
but I think we can make that happen. So Maggie, we will be working to make all of your dreams come true.
So Awesome Con
Your
was
Farpoint
really, really fun, and so was Farpoint. What cosplays did everybody do for Awesome Con? Demanda.
How you gonna call me out like that?
We talked about what we were going to do last time, and we never actually it never got
Yeah,
recorded.
but which ones did we actually end up doing?
So I on Friday I did my Jennifer Jolie as Gail Weathers in the lime green suit, which
And it was
made
hot.
for me.
It was hot.
Which was made. Thank you. Which was made for me by my dear friend Erica. It was great. I'm still disappointed in Parker Posey for not being there, but that's fine. And then of course I wore Aphrodite, and then on Sunday I wore Big Barda. Which again, I'm not trying to call him out, but Mr. Scott Free, like his literal namesake, Scott Free, Mr. Miracle, apparently he had some costume issues and could not come as Mr. Miracle to the con, but that's okay. I still got to meet Tom King, and Tom King signed my mace. So that's
none of us have ever had cosplay issues before.
No.
Yeah. So, but he was literally texting me that morning. He was like, "I'm literally trying to hand sew," and he's like, "And no one wants to see me try to hand sew." So anyway, me and Scott will eventually be able to get that group together. But also, Tom King showed me a 5-second preview of the upcoming Mr. Miracle cartoon, which was also incredible. Apparently he had like just gotten the text that morning or something, and the people that were in front of me in line is actually his brother-in-law and nieces. So he showed them, and I was just standing there being like, "What is this?" And then he was like, "First of all, you look incredible," and I was like, "Thank you so much. I'm aware." And anyway, he was very cool, and I got to
drag queens.
Yeah,
We are beautiful. Thank you.
And I got to I mentioned to him that I had also done Virginia Vision, who is another character that he created for the Vision series that he did a few years ago. And he was like, "Oh wait, I think I remember that." He was like, "You did like the housewife thing," and I was like, "Yes." So anyway, Tom King is great. He's also, for those people who don't know, he is local to us here in the DC area.
I didn't
He's
realize he
from
was
this
local.
area. Yeah. So his Vision series is actually written for Vision to be living in Arlington, which is where he's from. I have no idea where he lives now, but I know that his like permanent residence is still like in like the DMV area. But he is local to us, and he's really cool. He's very nice. So that was awesome. What about you, Logan? What did you wear?
So for Friday I did Helen Gravely, and I had to put a whole beehive together, like on a 3D printed like wig cage.
I didn't make that, by the way. That wasn't my work.
And she didn't. Because you told me, and I quote, you hate that material.
Yeah, it's TPU 95. It's just like flexible stuff, and it's just I ruined like one of my printers using it because I didn't do it correctly, and I've been like scared to use it ever since.
Yeah. And so I did that, and it was amazing. It was so much fun. It was the first costume and first cosplay that I made it from head to toe. So not only did I like make the wig, but I made the full dress, which that was crazy. It was a crazy moment because it took 17 different pattern pieces to get that shit together. And it was so much fun.
And who were you on Saturday? I don't remember.
I don't know. I think I was just like in drag, I guess.
I think you were dressed like Xena.
I I
Xena,
was Xena, actually.
Telecast.
Yeah, it was. No, I was my award-winning Callisto on Saturday, and then we had our amazing show in the middle of the cosplay competition at AwesomeCon, and I was doing Callisto, and I was like, well, if I'm doing Callisto, I need to have a Xena come and kill me. And so I had Jessica come on stage, and it was so fun. It was so fun. And then Sunday, I did a Weeping Angel from Doctor Who.
Good
See,
choice.
what did I do? I'm trying to remember. Oh wait, I just did Xena all weekend. I'm
Wait,
kind
what?
of in the episode that got
I thought you
deleted.
were Carlac from.
I was. During the episode that got deleted, I talked in detail about how I was going to put together a Maleficent cosplay and a Carla, and I had every intention, and they are almost all the way done, both of them, but not enough to wear. So
But
I was just
not close enough.
not close. Well, you know me. I'm not going to wear a partially no. So I was just Xena all 3 days. I tried to change it up on Sunday. I was bloody Xena, like I had used like fake wounds and stuff, except for
I loved your individual like changes for Xena.
yeah, I like to try and change her. If I'm wearing her multiple days in a row, I like to change it up a little bit each day. That way I don't feel like I'm just doing the same thing every day. Although for the wound makeup, I had given myself a like a fake bloody nose, but it kind of cracked and dried up and fell off. And at one point, Mandy
real.
looked at me and she was just like, "That looks like a booger. You need to take care of that. Like you need to fix this situation. Whatever."
I don't know
happened
what
here."
you're talking about. I never said that.
I think we were on our way to go walk over to talk to Lenore Zahn, and I was just like, I think maybe before we go over there,
We need to fix your feet.
Lenore was also
maybe.
amazing, though.
Yes, Lenore's always amazing.
So Friday, I wore that alien costume from Dan to Dan, the helmet
Which
which I
again
gave away.
was the grossest thing I think you've
It
ever
was
worn.
it was perhaps the most gross cosplay ever done,
I
and
thought it was funny.
I had to keep taking the helmet every time that I walked over to the Farpoint
Lesbian.
table. They were like, "No, take it off, put it away. We don't want to see that.
Put
We're
it
not here for
away."
that."
It was
So
terrifying.
I almost never wore the helmet, and so I just told some like random like businessman because I was wearing this like button up and some gray slacks. Otherwise,
Like if you guys don't know Dan,
look it up.
and
I'm not
that
gonna.
fucking
Yeah. No.
it's
Yeah,
it's
look it up. The aliens are
creepy.
creepy, and I was creepy wearing the helmet, so I won't be doing that again. And the helmet's gone. I gave it away, so I can't ever do it again. 'Cause I'm not going to make another helmet like that.
You didn't give it away.
I
Somebody
gave it away.
bought it.
No, I
Somebody
gave it
bought
away.
it.
No, I didn't charge him for it. I just said, "Have it, take it, go."
Flee before me.
Flee before me. I was in a hurry to get rid of it because everyone was judging me for it. And then Saturday, I was Autolycus, not Autolycus.
Good job. Proud
Thank
of you.
Jessica, for teaching me how to say it correctly. And then I did my Cad Bane on Sunday, which was great because Austin came as Luthen Rail, and he looked really good. Like we got that costume put together over the.
He looked really good.
Yeah, and thank you, Logan, for
Whoever
making that
did
wig
his
for him.
wig looked really good.
Logan did the wig, and it looked good. It was like spot on, Luthen Rail. I 3D printed him a little like the little brooch that he wears and put it on a chain. But he was living. He loved the costume. He loved walking around in it. He loved he was doing like the little hand motions as he was walking.
I will say that Joe and Wes did not recognize him as he was walking around.
Yes.
They didn't recognize his character or him as a person.
Well, they didn't
Him as
recognize.
Austin.
They did not know that was Austin. They were like, who's the person behind Felix's booth? And I was like, that's Austin.
That means it worked. we fundamentally changed how he looks. So
my favorite thing about Austin is that he will go into a character really quickly, and like he did a really, really good job with it.
Yeah, he had a lot of fun. Well, all the D&D he's gotten into in the last couple years, and now he gets to use that outside of D&D once, so he's happy to do that.
We kind of mentioned the drag show a bit?
In
Are
passing.
we waiting to talk? Because I have two things that I want to say
No,
about it.
by all means, please, Jessica,
Yeah,
talk about the drag
let's get
show.
into it. Let's get into
Numero
it.
uno. It was great fun.
Yeah.
Like Logan briefly said, like, so originally I wasn't going to be in the show at all because drag show. And while I do perform as a drag king, like I just wasn't in this particular show. However,
this one we've done for 3 years. Just for the audience who's listening, we've done this for 3 years, and it's been a casted show. It's always me, Demanda Martini, Tiffany D. Carter, and Cyrene Norsador Jackson.
So this one, because you can clearly see who I'm pointing to on our audio only podcast. Logan was going to be performing as Callisto and messaged me and was like, "Hey, how would you feel about performing in the show too? You coming on and doing a cameo dressed like Xena, you can come on and kill me." And I was like, yes to that sentence. Why are you even asking me? So I did end up being in it, which was super fun. We did not rehearse. So the whole thing is I was going to come on stage. We were going to fight. Logan was going to beat me, and then I was going to go off stage, and then she was going to finish the number by herself. We did not have time to rehearse or anything, and we did stage combat, which, as anybody who's ever done stage combat knows, you don't do that without rehearsal. It is choreography. There are
we had like what 3 seconds of
so it was not rehearsed. So predictably we both accidentally got hit for real a couple of times, and we both also punched each other from about 17 miles away. And it was a silly number, so it worked. Logan hit me for real so hard at one point the cross guard of my sword
accidentally
air quotes accidentally no, because I accidentally
I don't hate lesbians
real hard too. No, so it got jammed up into my armor, and I couldn't get it out, and I couldn't let go because I wasn't sure of what, I didn't want to just let go of my sword and have it fall or break my armor. So she was supposed to spin me off stage, and I was supposed to go down the stairs. So while holding my sword to my armor, disoriented, I spun around and almost fell down the stairs. I managed to catch myself with one hand. Mandy's looking at me like, what is happening? And like 2 people in headsets are also looking at me going, what? Because I walk off stage with my sword sticking out of my chest in a really weird way. But it was good. Nothing broke. Mandy was able to like Tetris it.
Right.
There's a full video of this, just so y'all know.
But Jessica was like, it's stuck, and I was like, everybody just hold still. I'm gonna, and you're like, it's in there. I'm like, I know it. We're gonna just vary, and it did not take a lot, but it was like, oh my god. Yeah.
So that was fun.
We had low key practice for like 1 second.
I was gonna say
for like
maybe
1 second.
Seconds.
And then when we got on the stage, we just did not understand what was going on.
Hey, we did it, and I watched. Luckily, a couple people videoed it, and it did actually look pretty good. It looked
like we were fighting.
I mean, apparently we were.
Shout out to Jorge.
That's all that matters.
Thank you, Jorge.
Yeah, Jorge, thank you. And
thank you, Davide. Like absolutely, like everybody who and Matt Caudette, thank you so much for hosting and hosting.
What was your other thing
Recording.
You wanted to mention about it?
So that was bananas backstage, and like while you were trying to like wrench the sword out of me, like people are coming up to me who somehow I was hiding backstage because the whole thing was it was supposed to be a secret that I was there and a secret that I was performing, so I was hiding for most of the time. So suddenly out of nowhere Xena is just standing backstage. So a bunch of people who had not seen me backstage were coming up to me to tell me about how much they like Xena, while Mandy is trying to get the sword out of my armor before we all have to go back on for our final like, hi, thank you for coming. But the oopsie doopsie poopsie of all of this, which I did not think about until afterwards. Like, I get it. Like, I was supposed to be a secret. So obviously we couldn't tell people that I was going to be there. So I couldn't be advertised that I was going to be there. Like, my name wasn't.
As drag queen, as drag kings mostly are.
Yeah. So, anybody that was at AwesomeCon saw, on the giant screen, everybody's social media was posted, and everybody's Venmo and PayPal was posted, except for mine because I was a secret. I couldn't, we couldn't say anybody was there, or couldn't say that I was there. So the only thing I would change about it is I think we should have like somehow figured out how to put my stuff on there too without giving it away. Like maybe just saying I was going to be there but like not posting anything Xena relate. I don't know. So if I could do it again, I would have gone back and been like, "Listen, I get it. I'm making a cameo. I don't need to be paid, but like let's at least put my social media up on it." Cuz later on when you all were like, "Oh my god, I got so many tips via Venmo." I'm like, "Yeah, I got nothing cuz my information wasn't posted." But my bad. Next time, if I'm ever a surprise guest anywhere, I will figure out a way to at least put my information out there and maybe just not give any context of what I'm doing at all. So that way it's still a surprise.
Okay, and with all of that awesome conness, let's move on to the meat of our show. Let's talk about these 4 episodes again, because as we mentioned, we did before. However, it's now been about a month, so I think I've forgotten most of the things. I can't wait to like read, because I haven't really like read through the notes again. So I'm like, I can't wait to like read these with even less context than, than before. But all right, but Logan, you had episode 9, so get us in there.
Yes, I did. So, episode 9, again, this is take 3. So, this is the 3rd time I'm reading through my notes, so we'll see how well this goes. But episode 9 was called Death in Chains, and I'm just gonna kind of give like a little bit of an overview, and then we can just dive into it together. I don't want to like monologue too hard here. So basically what happens is, well, it starts off in the castle, and we see Syphilis and his wife preparing for something. And then this ghostly lady in white is kind of floating through the courtyard, killing off their soldiers just by touching her. And they're like, "Oh my God, run away." And they invite her in for a feast, and is like, "I'm here to collect your soul." And he's like, "No, I don't want to be collected." So he sits her down, and she accepts a feast, and he traps her and separates her from her candle. And as we know, or find out, I guess, if she's separated from her candle, then human beings can't die, which is obviously a problem because they can still feel pain for the most part, but they won't die forever. And if she's separated from her candle too long, then it'll last forever. So, cut to Xena. She is beaten up on some ruffians, as she does very easily, and she kills this dude pretty quickly. But obviously, at that time, that's when she got separated from her candle, and he doesn't die. And we're going to see a lot of repercussions from this. And I I'm trying to decide how much further I want to keep going into this.
Well, no, let's take a pause and discuss for a second.
Yeah.
So,
Because I have a question.
Yes, go for it. Jump in. Feel free to jump in.
It is unclear whether or not people can still feel pain, because it seems like if you're a good person, you can still feel pain. Because like the old lady can, like people are kind of like, "Oh, I'm suffering. I wish I could die," but then the bad guys can't. They seem to be fine. So
Right,
it's unclear. I'm like, does this hurt? Does this not hurt? Unclear.
Maybe they're just used to it.
so what one of my first notes is Gabrielle has a new outfit. How sporty. And it's like not explained until, again, stay tuned. We'll talk about it later. But it's one of those things where it's like, oh, obviously this was like aired out of sequence or
Filmed out of
whatever.
sequence,
Yeah, or whatever. But it's like, oh, I like Gabrielle's new fit. I wonder where she got it from. How
the thing is,
interesting.
I'm used to it, so I didn't even notice. Like
I
that didn't
also
even
did not
register
clock
to me
that.
because I was just like, this is just an outfit that she wears. Yes.
But
It wasn't
again,
until you pointed it out the last time we recorded that I was like,
Yeah.
wait, I did not notice that.
So also I have Gabrielle won't shut up. Who are these idiots? Xena just straight up killed this guy, but no, he just got back up.
No, she didn't actually kill him, and
But she did.
I mean, we all saw it coming.
But she did straight up just kill that guy. He was like talking sass, and she was like, "Nope, murder."
She's like, "Gabrielle, go away. Let me kill this guy real quick."
Right.
Gabrielle had already used up all of her patience for the morning.
Yeah. So then she obviously doesn't see that he is alive, so they walk away, and Hades just randomly shows up. Lightning strikes, the thing comes, he comes on a chariot. He's like, "Hey Xena, sup bestie? Thanks for all the people that you killed in your lifetime, because like you kept me really busy when you were like a warmongering evil person. And you still send me some people, so I appreciate you, but thank you for slowing it down so we can catch up. But sister, nobody can die right now, and you need to fix it.
Yeah. He shows up to be like, hey, can you go solve this problem for me? Great. Laters.
Bye.
Bye, love.
And that's the last we see of him for the entire episode. I'm like, oh, word.
The majority of my notes end with because everyone knows Xena.
Yes,
Quite literally.
Right.
for real.
And I love how he appears like
Literally.
Beetlejuice. Like he just
Yes.
appears in like a puff of smoke. He's like, here I am in my chariot.
Right. So then that's when we see the villagers for the first time. And that's where it does get confusing on who can feel pain, who can't, because all those villagers are clearly in a lot of pain and like just on the brink of death.
They're not okay.
But not really okay. Like they're helping to triage them, but obviously nothing's working. But
Because
Gabrielle
in case we've
runs-
forgotten, Xena is a surgeon.
Yes.
Yes. Remember,
More
yeah,
on that
just
later.
full fist later.
Yeah.
Is that in this group of episodes?
Yes.
I
Yes.
don't. I'm unclear
It
at this
is.
time.
Okay.
It's we'll
It's in
discuss it
Felix's
shortly.
episode.
Yeah.
So they're trying to triage, and Gabrielle meets a boy toy. Now, I will say, while I was taking my notes, I was kind of dictating, and I kept forgetting the boy toy's name because obviously. And so I was reading through my notes again, and I have him in as 12 different names. Because it just is like, it starts with boy toy, because I was like, oh, I don't want to get to know him. But then it's like Talus, Callus, Ballus, Malice. So I'm
It
not
is
sure what
actually
his
Talus.
name was, but he is just boy toy of the week. And they end up being like two peas in a pod, and like they're like, oh my god, we already love each other. We just met. And it's
I
like,
have him
okay,
down as
whatever.
boy of the episode.
Yeah.
Yes, literally.
I just wrote him down as himbo, like because again, I was like, I'm not gonna bother.
Yeah. So Xena's like, in all my great, medical wisdom, I need a bucket of water. Gabrielle, go get me a bucket of water with boy toy. And ruffian dude who didn't die shows up and attacks them. And obviously Xena, being omniscient, knew that was happening and shows up. And she beats this guy's ass again. But the best part of this fight, as we all know, was her throwing that chakram with such speed that it became a table saw
Yeah.
that just kept spinning forever.
That's my major note for the
tree.
entire episode is the table saw chakram.
I also wrote that
Literally
down.
cut it all the way through, and then she caught it. I was like, but she'll never cut her hand off.
Nope.
Listen, she's got those calluses. She worked on those.
Callus is tougher than tree trunks.
I thought that was absolutely crazy. I was like, I love when physics doesn't make sense. Like, take a shot for trying to make it make sense. Like,
We all know that's the golden rule.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
I wrote down
absolutely
Xena
not.
is always lurking because she's just always just out of frame. So that way, whenever Gabrielle gets into trouble, all she has to do is just step into frame.
Literally. All I wrote was OMFGGGGGGGGGGGGGG, not the saw blade. And so obviously she takes him out again, but he can't die. So he runs off, and they go back to help the villagers. And essentially Xena's like, Gabrielle, you need to go with them to the hospital and like help them. I'm gonna go take care of Celeste. But cut to Ruffian, he goes, finds his old like band of people, and he's like, I need your guys' help. Look, I can't die. And at first, I guess they didn't believe him or something, and he just starts killing them to prove that they won't die. But also, why do you want a bunch of ruffians that you can kill very easily by yourself to be your army?
But now they can't die.
Well, yes.
And now they have motivation to not let Xena fix the problem.
Right.
That is also very true. Look at Felix with his context clues. Good job, baby. Good job, baby.
But
We do
also,
love a
I
leading
help.
question.
they just happened to be there as well. Was also
Oh,
part
they're
of
not
it.
his friends. They weren't his like allies or whatever. I couldn't remember.
No, yeah, it was the same group from the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was the same guys, from what I remember.
It was.
From a month and a half ago. Yeah, so like now they're this undead army, and they're like, oh my gosh, we need
They
to
really
go.
are an undead army.
And they don't feel any pain. Like they get stabbed, they're like, wait, I'm alive.
It's very Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes.
So
Dead man's
they
chest.
decide to go capture Celeste for themselves so they can live forever, obviously. So Gabrielle goes up to the hospital and she's talking to this old lady who died that morning, but couldn't cross over because of, everything that's going on. And she warns her that Xena can't touch death or she'll die. So Xena and Talus or Callus or Ballas or Boy Toy, whatever his name is, they were like, obviously there's no possible way that Xena would know this. So we have to go follow her just to tell her this one
Right,
piece of information.
because obviously Xena wouldn't know anything
No.
about these events.
No, Hades showed up to specifically ask her to take care of this. Clearly, she knows nothing about death.
Yeah.
Right. Gave her no context
No.
because he knew she
That
didn't
she
need it.
already knew.
Xena never knows the rules. She never knows anything.
Right.
Like, Gabrielle, I love you, but Hades just came up and said, "Hey, sister," to Xena. I think she would know. Like,
Listen,
she's friends with other death.
Right.
Gabrielle is basically a golden retriever at this point, and she just wants to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She wants to meet the royalty of whatever neighborhood they're in. And she wants to help.
Yes, correct.
I want to meet the king. I want to meet the queen. I want to meet the chief.
I want to become
I'm so excited.
all-powerful. So Xena gets to the castle, and there's a whole labyrinth. There's trapdoors because there has been a trapdoor in every episode so far, which I love. Xena does some, parkour nonsense, is taking out some people, and then Gabrielle and the boy toy get there, and so do the ruffians because they were following them. So now everybody's at the castle. And immediately, Gabrielle and her boy get separated, and Xena and him find each other in the tunnel. So they're just trying to figure out how it is because he used to work in this castle apparently, so he knows his way around. And
Can I say, when she was trying to get into the castle, I just wrote butt cheeks in quotes because as she's parkouring up the wall to even get in, it is the most unnecessary upskirt shot ever. Like, she's doing a little flip around one of the little flagpoles or whatever the little thingies sticking out of the wall are. And like, it's just like literally butt cheeks. And I'm like, cool. Well, whatever stunt double that was. Hello, butt cheeks.
Some
Good for
fan
her.
service.
Didn't she do a lot of her own stunts? Do you think?
Lucy did more than she would have now. She's talked in interviews about how she was such a new, like, she had been in a lot of things, but this was her first like major role. So she was like, if I knew then what I knew now, I wouldn't have done nearly as many stunts as I did do.
Really?
But she had numerous stunt doubles. So I would be very shocked if that wasn't a stunt double doing that.
Gotcha. Okay, well, the more you know. So Xena and the boy toy, they're talking, and Xena finds out that boy toy is dying. Like, he's got, it seems, some sort of heart condition, or I don't
Something.
know.
I literally wrote, "Is this a Nicholas Sparks novel? Like what? Like of course." I put, "Of course he's dying." LOL.
Right.
Correct reaction. That's what they wanted you to have.
Of course.
So they're making their way through. Gabrielle's off on her own, running away from these ruffians. She's hiding behind a tapestry, and she almost gets exposed because a rat starts climbing on her. But the rat, scurries out and gets stomped by the bad guy, which sucks because I don't think that animals could die either.
I don't think they can.
So that is just a
It's an awful
squished,
noise.
very squished rat
It's
just living on the
very
floor.
Death Becomes Her. Like,
Oh my god!
Now a warning!
Now a warning. But also, I do want to say my only other note for this. Well, no, I have two other notes, but like my other note is at the end of the episode, it does say no rats were harmed during the filming of this. It's
Because
very
they couldn't
large
die.
print. You can't miss it.
Literally. That's like the only disclaimer we've ever gotten so far.
Right.
Speaking of rats, while Xena and Talus are crawling through the tunnels trying to find their way through this maze, they get bombarded by like 1,000 rats. And I have to say, one of my favorite parts of that scene is when they're like coming at them. There's just a shot of the two of them just like kind of laying there, not moving, and they just like, and it holds there for just like a second too long. It's like, oh my God, what are you doing? I
There's
think I would have
very
died
funny.
if I was in that tunnel.
Yeah, there's very funny bloopers of them just in the tunnels with the whoever was dumping the rats on them, and like Lucy just starts screaming at one point, and she just goes, "There's one of the rats!" Like, and the rats are just running everywhere, and she just starts howling with laughter, but also kind of screaming because there's rats. So
They're
that's pretty funny.
dumping rats. That's just
Like I said,
That's-
that's probably one of those things that Lucy was like, "I would not have done that."
They were all
Right.
real, right?
That is 100%
example.
not in my contract.
Right.
100% not in my contract.
And referring to it as dumping is why they had to have the disclaimer that no rats were harmed, even though we were just dumping buckets of rats down a hole.
That's
They were
literally what it
fine.
looked like they were doing.
Well,
Literally,
the
it's like,
90s
they
were
came out
crazy.
of nowhere. It was like, what? So we're getting towards the end of this episode. They get out of the tunnels, and Xena and the boy meet up with Sisyphus's wife, and she's like, he's bad, and I don't want my husband to die, but it's bad that everybody else can't die, and I don't think that's right. So I'll help you with him. So they end up trying to spring a trap on him, and they get him into a cage, and like the boy explains, I used to work in your castle, and like my friends can't die, and they really need to die because like they're missing a lot of limbs, and that rat over there was really smushed, and it needs to be put out of its misery. And he's like, fine, I guess I can do it. Like, I'll be a good person. Like, I'll be remembered as the person who brought death back to the world instead of the person who took death away from the world. And so they go to let Celeste out, but Gabrielle and the ruffians show up, and another fight ensues. Um, and once again, Xena, parkour nonsense, beats their fucking asses. And once again, we get some more chakram physics
Of course.
as she throws it and cuts three guys' throats, bounces off three walls, knocks off both chains on Celeste's arms, and then embeds itself into a wall, which was made out of stone.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't.
She
I,
learned
I-
that trick from Hercules on the Oedipus episode, so.
yeah, it's fine.
She learned nothing from that fool.
Tune in to Jessica's interview. And so Death is freed, and she goes and walks around the room and basically say, hey, you're dead, and you're dead.
She really
and
does.
You're dead.
Just floats around killing people.
I'm back, bitch.
And she goes up to Sisyphus and she's like, it's fine. I'm not gonna take you. For no explained reason whatsoever. You get
So-
to live.
So, well, when you're done, I can go into the mythology of that. But we'll...
Felix's mythology minute.
Hey, come on, mythology
only
minute.
because this one's so ridiculous. So Sisyphus, the myth of Sisyphus, right, is him pushing the rock up the hill for eternity.
Mhm.
For those who don't know, and he was punished because he kept trying to trick the gods into letting him not die. And this is one of the things that happened. I mean, it wasn't quite like this, but it was close enough. But the second time that he tried to cheat death, he did this trick where when he was about to die, I don't know how he planned this, but he told his wife, he's like, when I die, I want you to throw my naked body into the street of the like courtyard of our like castle or whatever. And she's like, okay, I love you, so I guess I'll do what you ask. And when he does die, and then she does it, and then he gets to Hades and he's like, my freaking wife did this. I need to be able to go back to Earth and punish her for treating me with disrespect. And they're like, okay. And they let him go back. And that was, I think, the final straw once they like realized he tricked them into like they got punished forever. But like he just did some ridiculous things.
I mean, he just didn't want to die.
Yeah.
That feels like a very Logan thing to do. Just be like, throw my naked body in the street. Make me everyone's
money in the
problem.
street.
Yes, thank you. I'm glad that you understand me
I
as a
do.
person deep down in my core.
I do.
On a
you know
very
what? I see
real
you.
like level.
I'm like, hi, I'm everyone's problem.
In death as in life.
So,
Including I love you.
two things can be true.
Yeah.
So the last thing is we find out that I think I finally have his name is Talus. Is
Not
dying,
important.
and Celeste is like, it's time for him to go, and Gabrielle's but Daddy, I love him, and he's like, well, I gotta go. I'm dead. I died this morning, actually.
I've been trying to die for a long time, girl.
Couldn't, and there's no way for me to stay anymore. So peace out, and they go into the bright white light, and the episode ends.
Which only he gets. No one else gets a bright white light when they die. Just
well, to be
him.
fair, the others were evil.
Yeah, but I will also, so my last note of this episode, because I didn't take a lot of them, my last one is just flirting with boys is so crazy.
Correct.
In this show, anytime Gabrielle or Xena flirts with boys, it's like, what is going on? Like, why?
I prefer when Xena flirts with
weird.
girls and threatens murder.
Yeah, right. But especially Gabrielle flirting with this boy, I'm like, girl, what? You literally just met him. You just met him. What are we doing?
It's a phase.
Also, you're a lesbian.
Also, you are also bisexuals exist and pansexuals. However, she's definitely super into Xena. So,
oh, for
yes,
sure.
they do exist. Gabrielle is a lesbian.
Two things can be true at the same time. But also, the way she grabbed onto Xena to get a snuggle, the amount of people that have grabbed me like that and then immediately gone, "Ow, Jesus!" That armor is hard and pokey. You don't snuggle with that.
Yours isn't even real. Like hers
people
is
have
actual.
tried.
Like realistically, hers is like actual like armor.
Right. Yeah, so hers would hurt even more. But yeah, the amount of people that have literally gone, "Ow," when they try and cuddle up to me, and I'm like, I tried to warn you. But no, Xena definitely took that armor off later and comforted poor Gabrielle because she had a sad.
She was so distraught over this boy she just met.
Yeah, she needed a snuggle all night in their furs next to the fire.
Overall, I thought it was a pretty good episode. I liked it. I feel like of this set of 4, this one had like some of the most things happening all at the same time. But
yeah,
it was pretty good. It was pretty good overall.
The fewest plot holes, is that what you're
Yeah, I guess. Well, no, I would never say that. I don't think there were too many plot holes. It was the one glaring one at the end, like why she just didn't take him. But everything else pretty much made sense.
There are some episodes that I wish I could watch with you all in person because there are some episodes that just go above and beyond in the physics and not making sense department. And I just want to be staring at your faces when you watch it. But that is
maybe we can plan for like one group viewing night.
But the problem is they're not in order. Like they're not consecutive. There's like one in this season and one in that season. But anyway.
Pick your favorite.
Yeah.
All right, Felix, I think you have the next episode, right?
Yes. So I have episode 10, which is called Hooves and Harlots and some really bad CGI horse parts.
Which also, can I just, first of all, just start off by saying, I hate the title of this episode. I hate...
Well, you're gonna hate that they repeat that phrase over and over again.
I know, I do. I think it's awful. So I guess, like, spoiler alert, but like, it's the Amazons. Like, how come it couldn't be like Hooves and Amazons or something? Like, I hate that it's like harlots. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
And
I kind of love it.
And it's an awkward like thing to repeat. So like, the fact that they're just saying this word repeatedly in the episode, I'm like, this is just a weird. Like, why are you forcing this? You don't need to do all that.
Well, they all hate the Amazons. Of course, they call
other slurs.
I didn't mind the format that Logan did, so feel free to once you have something to add, you can stop me mid. I've got a long monologue here, so feel free to stop me anytime you have something to say.
They had to call it Hooves and Harlots because they couldn't call it Hooves and Dykes, Felix.
You know what?
Well, maybe now we have the episode title.
I will not be typing that out on the promo image.
Right.
I will not be doing that.
All right. So Xena and Gabrielle are debating the merits of walking sticks while
Which
trespassing.
also, sorry, pause. Gabrielle, back in her old costume. It is important to the plot. Gabrielle is in her old costume.
Give me a second.
It's important to the plot.
Right?
I mean, it truly
chuckling
is.
and
It
it's
truly is.
So they're debating the merits of walking sticks while trespassing through Amazon country, which is made obvious by the sign that says "No trespassing, Amazon country." When they get captured by an Amazon patrol, and I'll let